News Channel 5 on your side presents Kaleidoscope, focusing on people who make a difference in Northeast Ohio communities.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast today. Local actor Kenny Santiago Marrero has been featured in a number of movies and commercials. He's here to explain how he started in the business of acting and what led to all his successes. Then the CEO of the Diversity Center of Northeast Ohio, Peggy Zone Fisher, will be here to talk about the LEAD Diversity Program for the class of 2015. And on the broadcast after that, we'll hear from Jim Brewer, the world's only African-American wheel-standing jet car racer. It's quite a show, too. Good morning, everybody. Again, I'm Leon Bibb. This is Kaleidoscope. And so we beginning with one of my good friends here, Kenny Santiago Marrero of Lorain, Ohio. Hi, Kenny.
All right, Leon. How you doing?
Okay. How long have you been acting now?
Acting for film, it's been about 10 years, and as a performer since I was a child.
Yeah. And you've done a lot of commercials and a lot of parts in movies. You were even in the John Travolta movie,
yes.
Criminal Activities.
Criminal Activities was quite the experience. It was kind of like a comeback to Northeast Ohio after being in the West Coast for a few years. So it's definitely it was an adventure, it really was.
And as I recall, you played a bad guy.
Actually,
in Criminal Activities. You played a real bad guy, huh?
I've definitely scored a kind of catch for being the villain on multiple projects.
How did you get your first movie role? And we'll come back to Criminal Activities in just a bit. How'd you get your first one?
The first movie role that I got was actually shot here in Northeast Ohio, and director Carlos J. Gonzalez. A film called That Day, and he was scouting for actors, and he went to Lorain County Community College, and at the time I was doing a performance there, and you know, I was noticed, and he approached me, and I was just on the verge of transferring to the Academy of Arts in San Francisco. So that was actually my first film, and I think it was his first film, and it was an experience for all of us to learn and just kind of grow as a performer. It was magical.
You're on the road a lot, aren't you? Acting, taking parts here, there, all over?
Most of my life is spent behind the wheel, looking at the scenery of the highway.
How do you prepare for these roles, and how do you get these roles?
Well, the preparation process for myself, I use creative imagination. Which is a technique I think most actors that just kind of grab a hold of the inner core from the inside and you let it out from within would advocate. You use imagination. Obviously, you got to memorize your lines. That is one of the catches to it, but it's not the key. It's bringing the lines to life inside of yourself. And when you do it like that, which is a practice that I do, you can kind of get things down and study your character development. Obviously, you want to be familiar with the material, you know, as well. There's a lot to it, but if you love doing it, you just kind of embrace it.
What are some of the movies that you've been in that the public might recognize the titles of?
Well, recently, a film that was shot in Northeast Ohio, produced by Tyler Davidson, My Blind Brother, which is on the verge of being released at some point soon. And obviously, Criminal Activities is something that's on the verge of waiting for. And just also, there was a film from a director out of Northeast Ohio that he shot his film in Los Angeles, California. Can I say that right? John Baumgartner, who did a film called The San Andreas Quake, which there's another one that's called San Andreas. But this film just got released, and it's done quite well. And you can pick it up at Walmart. You can see it on multiple sites online, and I got a pretty interesting role in that one.
You and I were talking about, you're the protege of a well-known actress in California.
Diane Baker.
Diane Baker, who had made movies for many years and appeared in some Alfred Hitchcock movies, I remember, in the 1960s. Wonderful. Good-looking woman, too, as I recall. Very, very.
Still is, too.
Yeah, still is, still is. Tell me, what did she teach you? What does she tell you about acting?
That's interesting. When I first got into her program, and the first film that I did at the Academy of Arts was directed by Diane Baker, and it was a script that I had written called 21 Days. And when you're new to a program, you kind of just got to find a way to set your bar up so people can know that you're there not to play around, you're there to really take this real serious. So I had written a script that kind of told my own life testimony, some of the problems that I had as a youth, and I brought it to life in a 15-minute short film, and I just remember when she just went right down on the table and was like, "Make me believe." Make me believe you.
And she hit you with that.
And she did that, like,
wow.
hardcore. And I was just like, wow. It was...
And that's what you draw inside.
I have to make her believe.
Let's talk a little bit about what's going on in Lorraine. I know you brought this. We got about 2 minutes remaining. And tell me about this. We're going to get a shot of this if we can on camera number 7 there.
Absolutely.
El Faro. What is El Faro?
El Faro. El Faro stands for the lighthouse. This is
in Lorain, Ohio.
In Lorain, Ohio. This is a vision that's been a collaboration with a few believers in our community that want to, in a sense, bring back this life that's been missing with our youth, using creative imagination, using a level of performing arts. So this is a vision for South Lorain, in a sense, to build a center where young people come and perform, be inspired, and in a sense, I like to say, a discovery place of faith, hope, and love.
Run by your family.
Absolutely.
Your mother is very much involved in this.
Yes,
your parents are very much involved in this.
And myself.
Yeah. And you're going to you want this to, where's this going to be located?
This will be at the exact address. Actually, the gentleman that designed this, Ed Morales, 1850 East 29th Street is the actual set ground that we're looking at developing this center.
In Lorain. Yeah.
In Lorain.
Yeah. Well, Kenny Santiago Morero, always looking for another part. We can put your number. We can give your number, can't we?
Absolutely.
Because somebody might be calling you. If they call you, remember me now.
Hey, Leon Bibb.
We're a team.
Right here.
440-204-8704, as you see at the bottom of the screen, and people can get in touch with my good friend, Kenny Santiago Morero. And we wish you well. He was one of the people I featured in my series, My Ohio, with Leon Bibb. We did a whole piece on Kenny last year.
We did.
Good to see you again, my friend.
Oh.
And we did some improvisation acting, too.
I'm ready to go.
We're ready to go.
You got my money.
Yeah.
You got my money.
And I'm going to pay you your money, too. It's one of the lines that we made up as we did some improvisation. Okay, he played a tough guy.
Yeah,
I was not quite as tough. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you.
We wish you well. Kenny Santiago Morero. I'll be right back in just a moment. Welcome back to Kaleidoscope. You're in touch with a very good broadcast. I'm Leon Bibb. Good to have you with us. The Diversity Center of Northeast Ohio's lead diversity program for the class of 2016 begins next month. President and CEO Peggy Zone Fisher of Lead Diversity Program is here, and the graduate of the Lead Diversity Program, Jillian Elizabeth Charles, is also here. She sits on the right, and she tells us about the center and the annual program as well. Good to have you, ladies.
Wonderful
good to have you with us.
Here. Thank you.
Yeah, let's begin with you, my good friend Peggy Zone Fisher. You're President and CEO. What's Diversity Center of Northeast Ohio?
Well, the Diversity Center has been around since 1927. We began as the National Conference of Christians and Jews, and over the years, the name changed to really better reflect the work that we do. We work in 9 counties in Northeast Ohio. We work with over 10,000 students. We're in about 150 middle schools and high schools doing diversity training work, doing conferences, retreats, overnight retreats, but also in-school programming where we actually are in the school working one-on-one with students. We also do professional development work, and our Lead Diversity program falls under our professional development side. We do diversity training in most of the major corporations in Northeast Ohio. This is our premier program, and
Lead Diversity
is our premier professional development.
What happens at Lead Diversity in a thumbnail sketch?
Well, in a thumbnail sketch, you know, it's if you know there's an application process. So people apply during the summer. Our first class begins September 24th. We take about 35 individuals from all over, different walks of life. The class itself is very diverse. And you spend a day a month with us, going to different locations and looking at diversity through different lenses.
Through different lenses. That's what I love about it. Yeah. One of those lenses you look through, Jillian Elizabeth Charles. You're a graduate of the Lead Diversity program.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, and you're an attorney for Eden Corporation right now. What did you learn by going through this?
You know, it was an amazing experience, and my one takeaway is that I learned to think about diversity in a broader way. I think coming into the program, you tend to think of diversity in more traditional ways, maybe race, gender, color, and I think what you learn from this program is that the world we're living in is changing so much, and it's about how we think and all of the things that make you unique. That's what diversity is about. And what this program really does is help you to harness that and use that in your your leadership and team building back at your companies.
Yeah. Peggy, that makes us a far better community, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, when people go through this training.
Absolutely. This is our 15th year. We have over 500 alumni graduates. And if you think about superstars like Jillian going back to their corporations, going back to their places where they work. We have nonprofits that participate, healthcare professionals. They then start building wonderful cultures within their own work environments, and then they send other individuals to the program. So they create their own support system. They learn best practices, what other companies and other people are doing. And, you know, we do have to, you know, when we talk about diversity, sometimes people think it is just race, and that's a big piece of it.
It's more than that.
It's more
you would
than
agree
that.
with that, right, Jillian?
Absolutely. I mean, at Eaton, what we think about is everything that makes you different. Put that around a conference room table. It helps us innovate better. It helps us serve our customers better. So it's more than just the obvious things. It's the way you think and the way you solve problems. And we want to harness that to do better in our business and better in our communities, better in our churches, better in our nonprofit organizations.
Differences are what make America great. It's what makes this nation so great. How can people get involved in this now? Are there applications now?
They
can anybody jump in?
Anybody can. They're applicant. We haven't selected the class as of yet. The announcement of the classes will happen after the second week in September. So you can go online on our website, www.diversitycenterneo.org. Or you can call our office, and we can email out an application, 216-752-3000.
We've got that number on the screen, and we've got that website on the screen.
Great, yes. Well. And we love to have the class. You know, our classes range, last year it was from the age of 26 to, I think, 72.
What's the cost?
The cost is $2,000 for the entire year. That covers everything, all of your materials, all of food, you know, everything. It just covers everything, and it's a year-long program.
Jillian, in our final minute, give me something that stuck with you that you did not know, perhaps, but when you went through the program before.
Well, I can tell you, we visit different sites, and the two places that really stuck out to me, places I might not have gone on my own, is the Juvenile Center and the Jewish Center in Beechwood. Those two places are places that I might not have ventured to on my own. The experiences there were moving, particularly the Juvenile Center, seeing the young people and seeing what that means. And you wonder, how is that a diversity issue? It's a problem to be solved in our community. And the more of us thinking about it and bringing our special talents to thinking about it helps toward finding a better solution faster.
In our final 15 seconds, that's what it's all about.
That's really
sitting down, learning about each other, and talking with each other and finding common ground.
Absolutely. That is what it is all about. And you know, if we all sit around the table and look like ourselves, we're talking to ourselves. We're not learning anything.
752-3000 in the 216 area code, or diversitycenterneo.org. More information on everything we're talking about. And your program begins on September the 24th.
September 24th.
Through May of 2016. The class of 16 is getting in line.
They are.
Okay. Good to have you on the broadcast, both of you. Many thanks.
Thank you so much.
Jillian Elizabeth Charles and Peggy Zoon Fisher, many thanks.
Thank you, Lynn.
Taking a break. I'll be right back in just a moment. This is Kaleidoscope. Welcome back to more of Kaleidoscope. 82-year-old Jim Brewer is the world's only African-American professional wheel standard driver. He's been doing this for more than 50 years, and he builds his own race vehicles. And Mr. Brewer joins me now to talk about this event. He is a Clevelander, and before we're finished here, you're going to take us at 140 miles an hour, right, Jim?
True. Correct.
You're quite a guy. What is wheel standard driving now?
What is it?
Yeah.
Wheel standard driving is like an exhibition. And the owner of the drag strip, they invite guys like myself and jet cars and jet trucks to the track to bring the fans in.
Put on a little exhibition.
A little exhibition. Without us, the fans wouldn't come.
Now you live right here in Cleveland.
Live right here in Cleveland.
When did you start doing this? This is your truck right here, the Peacemaker. That's your truck right there.
Correct.
Yeah. Tell me, give me a play-by-play. What are you doing in there right now?
Right now, we're just messing around, trying to get the fans excited. Bumping around. My wife, she's in there with me. I keep a picture on both doors everywhere I go. So we're doing a little demonstration, seeing how the track works. So then we're going to stop, we're going to bag up, and we're going to shoot off a few fireworks as we bag.
That gets the crowd all excited.
Get the crowd all excited.
Now, where do you do this? You do this at NASCAR races or
Oh, at quarter mile.
Yeah.
NASCAR is round and round.
Right. But you do this
ahead.
at exhibitions, state fairs, county fairs, that kind of.
Right, exactly.
Okay, so now you got it in reverse. What fuel are you burning?
Alcohol methanol.
That's good for that, huh?
Good for that because we don't have no water in the engine, and alcohol makes the engine run cooler. Never had a drop of water in it.
Now, how much fuel do you have to put in there to run a quarter of a
10
mile?
gallons.
And you can burn that up and.
Oh yeah, we cannot come back down the track.
You're 82 years old, and you've been doing this for 50 years.
Been doing this since 1962. I started my first race car, and we built it with a Lincoln Weller.
Yeah. Now you're giving it I'd say the gas, but
Right.
you're giving it the alcohol right there.
Right, exactly.
What are you thinking? What's going through your mind, Jim Brewer?
Thinking about, is this doing thing going to take me as fast as I want to go?
Now those sparks, that's all part of the show, huh?
All part of the show.
You're a showman.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
There you, 140 miles an hour, huh?
140 miles an hour.
Well, how did you get into this?
Long story. Country boy, three-track you out. I crashed 3 cars, got out the racing business, and the little guy came to town called Little Red Wagon.
Yeah.
He came to town, and he, at the same time, it was just him and another. There's 2 cars only then.
Yeah.
I checked his car out because he came back down the track, and he landed too late, and he's almost about to run through the start line.
Yeah, yeah.
He grabbed the brake handle, started going around and around the middle of the track, and I thought he was trying to stop the car, but I think he's showing off. But he's trying to stop the doing car. And it wasn't leaning, and it just round and around in the middle of the track. I told my wife, I said, we're going to be on one of those. Took a good peek at him, and got home, forgot who I looked at, and at the same time, I said he was very famous. He goes to the next track, 42, and I go follow him there. He took another peek.
You got bitten by the bug then.
I did, but dig this now. The
Dig
third
this.
time, I went to Norwalk. He seen me peep out in the car. He told me, he said, young man, he said, I know what you're thinking, he said, but you'll never do this. And I said, no, I grabbed a piece of paper then. He said, I want to do it. And this goes home and make one and crashed it.
So you're building these cars?
Oh, yeah, I'm building it.
Now, do you work on this car?
I work on my car with a Lincoln Weller, and I'm hoping that Lincoln Weller sponsor me for using that equipment.
Now I saw your car because you park it right where you live. You live in southeast side of Cleveland.
You know my... What do you know about my neighborhood?
I know your neighborhood because
Okay.
I stopped by your house. That's how I found you. I said, this is a story. Now, does your wife, and you've been married 63 years?
63 years.
Now, does she ride with you sometime?
Never missed a race since I was doing it.
She goes?
Every place I go, if I don't go...
Is she in the passenger seat or is she on the
sideline? Well, it's a one-man...
It's a one-man thing?
One-man thing, yeah. She's about my mechanic.
Now, when the crowd gets fever pitch, when they get ready, that's adrenaline for you too?
That's right. Never drink, but that car makes you feel like you're on cloud 9. I'm not kidding. You think I'm lying?
You got plenty of alcohol in your tank. It's in that car tank, but not in your tank.
Indeed. Let me tell you, I can have a headache. I'm truthfully now. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah.
I can have a headache and get in that car. I'd be home, have a pain in the head.
Yeah.
And I go out there in the garage and start that darn thing up, and all the pains leave. I go back in the house and...
You're available for shows.
Anytime.
People can give you a call. I'm putting your phone number on the screen. That's okay.
I wish you would.
Yeah, it's on there right now.
Okay, all right.
216-581-0269, or you can go to facebook.com/Peacemaker1933.
1933 Willis.
What happened in 1933?
Well, the Willis was born in 33, and I was born in 34.
I see.
So we knew one another.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like,
Well,
I've been with my wife
Well, you got
3 years, and I knew that Willis know me. It's better than I do my wife.
Well, she knew a hot guy when she saw it because you got a hot car.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, Jim Brewer. Many thanks for being on the broadcast.
Thank you.
Oh, it's been nice to ride shotgun with you.
All right.
Okay, brother. All right. I'll take a break. We'll be right back. Here now is Marsha Maccabee of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland, who always caps the broadcast with some important thoughts.
Thank you, Leon. It's good to be here again today. You know, I've been working a lot within the last couple of months on workforce issues. And one of the things that I think is really important for our community to understand is that it's going to be important in Cleveland for us to build a talent pipeline of individuals that can get access to and have the skills to compete for jobs that are in a lot of the high-tech industries and a lot of the demand industries. The days of working at a car manufacturing plant, working in a steel mill, those days are gone for us.
Yeah.
And we have to make a shift to what these new industries are and make sure that people have the skills and talents that they need to be able to be successful.
Because we don't have as many people working in the auto plants now.
That's
because
exactly
of automation.
right.
It used to be when you and I came out of school, I mean, you could go over there and get a job go on a Tuesday, and they'd say, "Can you start tomorrow?"
That's exactly right.
But it's not as much of that going on. Yeah. So we gotta think differently, huh?
We do. And technology is part of the reason why there are fewer jobs. And technology is going to continue to innovate. And so we need people who understand how to work with technology and who understand how to manage technology in order to keep industries competitive and moving forward, because we're in a global economy.
In our final 40 seconds, there are jobs out there.
Absolutely,
they're in certain areas. They're in certain. What are those areas that you're finding?
Those areas are advanced manufacturing, which is not manufacturing as we knew it when we grew up. The manufacturing today is clean, high technology, robotics, all those kinds of things. And then, of course, healthcare is a big industry. Construction is a big industry. And so, you know, we've got to rethink how we prepare.
Okay. Many thanks, Marsha Maccabee of the Urban League of Greater Cleveland. That's going to do it for us. I'm Leon Bibb. Be well.
This has been a presentation of News Channel 5's Kaleidoscope, a weekly public affairs program brought to you in partnership with the Urban League of Greater Cleveland.